5, 4,
3, 2.
What's up, everybody?
I think we're on.
I hope so. Y'all can hear us. Say hey. Make sure we got some sound up in here. Hope everybody's doing good. Hopefully this.
They can prematurely age your lungs.
Turn the sound up. What's up, y'all?
All right. So Ron said I can't take forever saying hi to everybody. So I'm going to blow through these real quick so we don't get too far behind on questions, because we end up doing that. We're like 20 minutes behind, and people think we don't see their questions, but we just don't. I mean, or that we're skipping their questions, but we really just don't see them because we haven't got to them yet. So I'm going to go through these real quick. Thanks, Summit Dave, for hopping in. Ernie Kasana, yes, it's enjoyable. Thank you so much. John Egan, what's up? Let's see, Kevin Frederick, thank you for coming in. You have a aftermarket Kohler Command fuel pump, any good? We don't really ever. No, we tried the aftermarkets and they didn't work. We stopped getting them. We don't go aftermarket on fuel pumps. Now, are you talking about the 3-port fuel pump, or are you talking about the actual old style with the?
That's usually the Briggs style, the Command.
Yeah, so I mean the 3-port one, no, get OEM. Mowers and blowers, what's up? Johnny Richards, thank you so much. Berkeley County Small Engine, Nathan Rector, thank you for popping back in. Grass Cutter Palmer, hello. John Clem, hey baby. Let's see. Trey Furt, I have has a question. I have a sawmill with a 27 horsepower Kohler. It has surged when running and backfired upon shutoff from day one. Any ideas? I can add a little choke and it runs smooth, so I know it's lean. What you got?
It's running lean.
Yeah.
It's surging, it's running lean, but it's backfiring. So you might have a slight valve problem there, which can also make it surge.
Yeah.
So if a valve isn't opening up correctly or isn't opening up enough, but usually that's a carburetor issue. If you haven't been through your carburetor, I mean, go through your carburetor first, make sure everything looks good.
And even from brand new, we see things that that might have sat for a long time before they actually got sold. We had an engine last year that from day one it did the same thing, and we had to go into it. So
we have one of those engines, but a lot of some of those engines, there's 2 different variations of those 27 horsepowers that I know of. So there's 2 different carburetors. One is a single barrel and one's a twin barrel. So I'm not certain which one yours has. So if you can, pipe back in on that one.
Was that Pat? Thought out? Yeah, I bet you got some snow way up north. All right. We got. Oh, also, if you have not subscribed yet, you will have to be a subscriber for 5 minutes before you can comment, because that's the only way I can keep spammers out, because they won't hassle with it if they have to be a subscriber. But if you don't, they will bombard us with some really nasty comments. So please subscribe. Also, if you have a question for us, put it in all caps. That way we can see it, because I'm blind. Sort of. Not really, but a little bit. Let's see. Who else we got up in here? Randy Hayes. Is it worth putting rings in a Kohler Courage 22 horsepower motor?
No.
My cat. Come on, cat. No.
No.
Oh, upside down dog. Hello from Mina. You ain't too far away. Haney Oki. How's those fingers, Thomas? Hope you're doing better.
Randy, we'll come back to that question here in a second.
Yeah. Rick Salian, thank you for coming back in. Land Down Under. We got Andrew J. Your opinion. This cat needs to eat or wants some love, one of the two. Your opinion, MS461 used piston replaced by a dealer, everything else stock, price range, thanks in advance. Come here.
461.
Wait.
I mean, if you can get one, if the jug and the piston have been replaced by a dealer with all manufacturer's parts. I mean, if it's just the head, it's going to be worth $500-600. So I wouldn't shy away from that one at all. Our cat made it back in, and she stepped away for a second to feed the cat. So the cat will be quiet. Okay, here we go. Let's see where we're at. Got 176 on. I'm sure nobody signed in to see me tonight, but that's okay. And we're going to try to just move on towards the bottom. No, but if you've got a, if it's all steel parts, it's going to be worth at least half to 2/3 of its original value. And I wouldn't shy away from it for a price like that. Those are really good saws.
All right. So I've skipped through some. Richard Moore, thank you for coming in. Michael Weatherford, Ray McCarty. We can heat you in Arkansas, meet you in, or Texarkana. Yeah, we are going to Dallas next week.
Yes.
Just saying. We might stop by for that food if you're still planning on cooking. So, let's see. Turbo's Lawn Care. Hello, Wayne Weiss. Alabama, cooking with a kid. Thanks for coming back in. Pinball. Hey. Upside Down Dog. Andrew J. Dan DeMars. Canada. Michael Owen. Corbett, aka Zadzu from Michigan. Andy Presley, Sam Pipkin. Thank you all so much for coming in. We got 55,500 subscribers, and that's all y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
We just keep blowing up. It's crazy. That's awesome. Oh, let's see. So I got a bunch of new people, and I feel like I got to reiterate some of the old stuff that I said just to make sure everybody's caught up. I'm going to do a couple of videos to make sure that everybody knows about, things to do before spring hits. So just like my last video about you need to get parts now. There was a lot of things that I didn't put in that video. There was more equipment that I can't get, some of the larger trimmers. So I don't know if everybody saw that or not, but make sure to stock up. I mean, I have no idea when I'm going to get the units in. I've had back ordered blowers forever. When I got my spring order in, I didn't even get part of my oil order. It's really, really weird. And they said if I put oil in or order in for oil, it's 3 months before I can get it. And that's like Echo brand bottles, so.
Are you kidding?
No, I ordered it in December. He said it was going to be
3 months.
Yeah, that it was going to be February or the beginning of March. So Mechanic Chicks, glad to be here. Thank you. Timidator, that's a great name. Dobby Farrar, thanks for coming in. So your opinion, oh, that was the question that we answered. Richard Cranium, what's up? Scott Filbert, Chris Quisenberry, thank you for coming in. John Crawley, we're doing great. Everybody's healthy. That's awesome. Got a bug, and that took a little bit, but James the Lawnmower Man, John Rickers. All right, well, thank y'all for coming in. I don't want to get too far behind on these comments because that's what we do, and then we miss a bunch of people's questions.
Somebody had a question way up there.
Yeah, you want to find it? So
actually, they asked if we had done work on a Stihl FS80R, and the answer is yes. We used to own a Stihl FS80R.
They're some of the best trimmers ever made.
Yeah, they're just not very comfortable to use, but they are incredibly powerful. Fantastic one. So if you have a question about it, we work on them all the time. Okay, let's get into it.
The best way to store occasional use small engines like chainsaws. I've gone over this before, but I'll do it again because everybody needs to know. It depends on the chainsaw. If you're going to be using it maybe once a year, you need to use good fuel, use great oil, use a fuel stabilizer no matter what, and run it all out of gas. If it's a good brand like Stihl, Echo, Shindawa, or Husqvarna or something like that, because they actually have really good fuel lines in them. Now, if it's a cheaper saw like a Poulan that has the Tygon line or something like that in it, it's going to harden over time. And I tell everybody to actually leave those with fuel in the tank with stabilizer. And you might even want to pour it out later, but if it's still moist in there, it will keep your fuel line good. But if it's not, it's going to dry out no matter what you do. If you're going to store a chainsaw for a very long time, I'm talking years, like 5 years, 6 years, pour everything out, fill the whole thing up with 2-cycle oil. And I mean, it's been crazy. I've seen saws that sat for like 10, 15 years. And all I did was pour that, like an old man knew how to store his stuff. I poured all the stuff out of it and, put some gas in it and it went. So that's the best way to store it, because it keeps all of your fuel lines good. And you just keep rinsing it out with some gas and then it'll go. It's crazy, but it will. So dry is not always good. A lot of people say run stuff dry. It's not necessarily a good thing with everything. So you also can't always get all the fuel out of your 4 cycles because it stays in the bowl. And so you have to use a fuel stabilizer no matter what you do. Fuel stabilizer. So.
Hello, John. What is our take on battery trimmers ever having enough power for brush and saw blades? The motor technology is there, but unfortunately, the motor technology that is there would be right on top of the blade. Those little pancake motors are incredible. They're very powerful, but they're not really. I don't think that they want them to have a blade on them because of the sudden stop feature, and I don't think they want to hurt them. Well, I think Makita makes a really good one that is shaft driven, but I haven't heard of anyone putting a blade on one yet. But you could adapt a blade to one very easily because they'll hold a speed feed head. Other than that, you can adapt blades to the Stihl and the Echo models because they're just basically the same arbors as their regular gas trimmers. So, but how long is it going to last? I don't know. I don't have that answer for you. I'm sorry.
I think it's going to destroy it, personally. Was that Robert? Got a neighbor up in here. Also, the backpack blower that I did a video on that I changed the piston and cylinder out, I've had a lot of people ask if they could buy it, and it is sold. Sold it to a viewer that lived in Arkansas, drove a couple hours to come see me and buy it, so it is gone. But we got $200 out of it, just in case anybody wanted to know. It was totally worth it. It ran great, and that was awesome. We haven't sold the Rider yet, and Ron put together some more that we didn't get on video, but so we'll let you know when we sell all that used stuff. All right, Mopar Scott. Mower with sheared key symptom, pull rope jerks, but key replaced and valves adjusted. What to check next?
Is it a Honda? If it's a Honda, then the first thing you need to check is the position of your coil. And we have cleared that up with new coils before. I know that's kind of an expense to put into those things, but because when it broke the key, sometimes it messes with the coil. I'm not exactly sure on that one. If the valves are okay, but you need to check your flywheel after that. Make sure that it didn't injure the key slot on the flywheel. If it's hurt, if it's messed up, then you need to replace the flywheel.
George Roderick. Hi, I have a question. Why are two-stroke weed whackers so hard to start in New England? I've never been to New England to try to start a weed whacker, but I don't know, because they start really easy here unless it's a Stihl. No, they're not that hard to start, but Echoes are much easier. A lot of times the Husqvarnas are too. So I don't know why they're hard to start there, but Guitarlo, new to chainsaws. What's the best way to know when a chain is done, needs replacing? You should watch my next video. I'm coming out with the exact reason of, why you need to sharpen your chain more and when a chain is dead and all that good stuff. So it will all be in my next video, but it's going to show you actual pictures to let you know of when a chain is just too far gone and stuff like that for you to be able to even get any life out of it. So
yeah, we read a lot of the comments on the 660 clone.
Mm-hmm.
When the 28-inch was the customer's chain.
Yeah.
And we really didn't even look at it before we got after it, but it's also a pretty wide skip tooth on there.
And he also does it at a different angle too when he sharpens it.
Yeah.
So he sharpens it himself. So I really didn't want to put my grinder on it and do it whatever, because.
And we didn't realize, but I think there's one shot of the 24-inch bar is ours.
Yeah.
Off of our 440. But we'll get to all that. So.
Yeah, we'll get to the Stihl clone. I know everybody like to talk about that one. So, Rick's alien replied to you, I did, Ron, but I don't know what y'all were talking about. So, we got 260 in the house. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. If you would, hit that like button, because that would be awesome. And then more people can join in with us.
Okay, so if he reset the coil and everything and checked it,
that's a different person.
That's
not the person that asked the question. So, all right, we're reading dude, we are here for you too.
Oh, that was probably back when you left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're quite a bit behind.
Yeah, we got to catch up.
Kohler, that compression locks, is it fixable? Yeah, they're actually a lot easier than the if it's a Courage. If it's a Commander, then it's a bit more difficult, but they usually, those have the Commanders have hydraulic valves on them. But if it's one of the 20 horsepower Courage, then the compression relief sits right on top of one of the camshafts. There's two camshafts in there with nylon gears, and you pull the top off and you can replace the parts without really removing anything internally. So yeah, they're easy to fix.
Thomas, I'm glad you're healing up. That sounds terrible. And I will be praying for your fingers, babe. I'm sorry. Ouch. Thomas had a snowblower incident. And now yeah. So let's see. Roger, thank you so much. Like I said, if you would put your questions in all caps, that way we can see it. I'm going to blow through some of these. Let's see.
You hide the current one.
What's that? Oh, hide the current one. Okay. I'm just going to go through. Everybody's saying, hey. We don't want to get too behind because we're already like 10 minutes behind in comments. So we're not seeing it for like 10 minutes. So we're wanting to make sure to catch up. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I think he said this on the video too. Berkeley County Small Engine, they're filling the box stores first with equipment from what he heard. And that is probably true when it comes to, Home Depot and Sutherland's has Echo, and I'm sure they are filling them. And
larger markets are going to get it before we are anyway.
Yeah, but it's crazy.
We're in a town of 35,000. So
I mean, usually the shop across town that I was talking about usually is just loaded with Stihl stuff, and he has nothing. I mean, and I know my Ace store down the street has nothing, like not anything, no accessories, nothing. It's sort of
Here's
bizarre.
Another thing, when our Briggs distributors sent us, they said because of demand issues, this isn't possible to be a demand side issue because there was plenty before all this started. They couldn't sell enough. before then. So it's not possible for this to be a demand issue. We can't be demanding so many, little 4.5 and 5 horsepower Briggs that they can't get them, or the camshafts. There can't be such a demand. If there's such a demand for camshafts, the company would be probably going out of business trying to replace them, because those things break constantly. And so there's supply side issues that we're not going to be able to repair for a while.
Definitely. I mean, that's what my territory manager told me last year. He said even the shipments that they were getting in, they couldn't sell them to us because they had just tons of trucks sitting there, no one to unload the truck. So I can imagine if that factory, or warehouse is having that issue, before that they're having issues. But that was just a question that I was going to answer. Are we having problems getting a Husqvarna parts? And it was weird little parts like a chain adjuster or a rewind pulley or nuts and bolts. It was just like the oddball stuff. They tried to stay on top of keeping any of the normal belts, pulleys, spindles. We didn't have any issue with that, but it was just whenever we'd need some weird oddball part that you don't normally have to buy. Yes, we did see a lot of issues with getting the Husqvarna stuff. So yeah. What's up, Dell? Thank you for popping in. We got 273 up in here. Ronnie Bach.
And yes, we wash all of the equipment. We clean everything before we send it back.
Yeah.
People ask us since she's first started doing video, they've asked why we're not cleaning it. Well, we don't clean it until we fix it. We're not going to spend time actually cleaning a piece of equipment that, number one, we may not work on.
That's going to get dirty while I'm working on it.
Might not, be fixable, and we're going to get it dirty after that. So especially my end, the bigger equipment, the riders, you really don't have any other choice but to wash it first and let it sit and dry out, because it can, they can be disgusting when they come in.
But you know what? How many commenters, they really want to see it clean. I know you're like, why didn't you clean it? I'm like, I'm going to do that next time for you. I promise. I get it. I like to watch videos where somebody has, a lawn with 3 feet tall grass and then somebody mows it perfect. I get that feeling. You want to see things nice, clean, tidy. All right, T-Rex 55. I have a 16-inch Craftsman chainsaw bought new a couple of years ago. It's leaked bar oil from day one when not in use. What it could be the problem? First, you need to make sure that you're not using the bar oil that came with it. Buy a different kind of bar oil. That's a great brand like the Stihl, Husqvarna, or the Echo, because it has a different viscosity. Also, whenever you're done using it, it's hot, so it's still able to just sort of ooze through there. Turn it on its side and release the cap. And sometimes you can turn it on a certain side to make it not leak. So it's sort of like I tell people, just be happy that it still oils, because that's something that would have to be fixed then. But it's just loose lines or the way the oiler stops at that point. It just can
release the cap.
Yeah, I did say release the cap and let the pressure off the inside of the tank, because it does build up heat in there, and that might help a little bit. So
Kawasaki FH engine oil pan gaskets and breather leaking oil. Yeah, you see that. You also see that in the Briggs engines. FH. Some of those don't have gaskets. Some of them are like the Kohlers, and they have they're just RTV, which actually the RTV leaks a lot less than those paper gaskets do. So, but yeah, you see it. You have to replace them. Those gaskets, they blow, they go out.
Yes, Mopar, it is a Russian blue. He is our cat that just showed up at the shop. He was already that big when we got him, but he is beautiful and a love bug, and he must have lived indoors wherever he was before. We can't have him inside because our son is like deathly allergic, but he gets the garage whenever it's cold. So but other than that, he's pure tomcat. So thank you, Pat. Everybody, if you would put your questions in all caps, that way we can make sure we see them, so we're not wasting time like stopping and reading through everything. So put your questions all caps. Also, you have to be a subscriber for 5 minutes before you can comment. So, oh, can you get parts for the best string trimmer green machine? I have worked on probably about 4 green machines when we first opened, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't tried in so many years. It's probably been 7 years since I saw those green machines, but they were good trimmers actually. But I don't actually know. I haven't tried. Oh, what's up, Jordan? Thank you for coming back in. Oh. Are you hitting on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Smitty. Hello. I'd like your opinion. I've been purchasing Stihl equipment for several years. A friend suggested Echo limb saw instead of the Stihl. Do you think Echo is equal to the Stihl?
We don't know.
No, I mean, I do. Some of the tree guys have bought the 355T and they like it, but they don't like it as much as the Stihl. I think it's a 204 now. It was a 201 before, and now it's a 204 or 203 or something like that. And it's expensive, but they love that saw. And I'm not gonna not Stihl because I'm an Echo dealer. It's probably I don't see them that often, so obviously they don't break. But everyone that has one loves it. So, but it all depends on what you're buying. Like, I'm going to say, yeah, that's good on that. If you're going to buy a trimmer, I'm going to tell you that the trimmers are way better on the Echo than they are the Stihl. So it just depends on what kind of unit you're buying.
This is a question, so I'm going to pop it up there, but I'm not going to have an answer for you because I just like the regular round, cheap Echo or Stihl trimmer line. And that's it.
Yes. I like my Echo trimmer. Okay, so I'm assuming you have the bump head on it. Now, I stay away from using the stuff with ribs in it because it seems to get wrapped up in itself just a little bit, and the round line works fine. I do like the Shindawa brand trimmer line over the Echo brand trimmer line, which you would think that they're the exact same since they're made by the same company, but they're not. You could feel the difference in it. And also, trick. If you have trimmer line that's been sitting around, a lot of people think they have bad trimmer line because it's breaking off constantly and they think the brand's bad. Actually, it's old, and you can buy it off the shelf old. So, because people, they'll sit on that trimmer line all winter long if they don't sell it. And trimmer line goes bad. It dries out and it becomes brittle and it will chip off. You can actually soak it in a bucket of water if just to make some longevity out of it. Like if you have a pound of it or something and you're not going to use it that often, and it will actually rejuvenate it a little bit to where it's not going to constantly break off on you as soon as it hits anything. So, Michael G, if you're not able to mow your yard for a couple of years, how often should you crank up and run your mower and other petroleum? Literally, you need to do it once a month.
Yeah, you need to do it once. If the battery lasts that long after, if you need to either have your battery on a tender, if you're going to start it, if you're not going to start it, if you're not going to even start it for like 2-3 months, get the gas out of it.
John Anthony, I was watching your supply chain video last night. Is it true you have never seen a snowblower in person? I've never seen one. Did you see one before your cousin had one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, you lived up north.
I lived in Colorado.
I came from California, Southern California to Arkansas, and we just do not get the weather to need snowblowers. So there's never been any of them at our big box stores. There's never been one come into the shop. Ron's cousin did move back down here from where'd they go? Somewhere in Missouri.
They went to St. Louis.
St. Louis. And
DeSoto, which is south of St. Louis.
They have a snowblower, and it's still running good. So he hasn't brought it in the shop for me to see and have service. So I'm going to see a snowblower. No, I've never seen one.
He asked me last time I saw him. He asked me the chances of selling that around here. I'm like, 0.
Yeah, nobody needs.
You're never going to see.
We just don't need them.
The 7000 series, they're very Briggs, aren't they? I mean, they even use the same carburetor, that Nikki carburetor. Or no, I'm sorry, that's 5,000, not 7,000. 7,000. They're also very Briggs. I haven't had a lot of bad experience with the 7,000 series yet. I've got 2 sitting at the shop that I pulled off of mowers with bad transmissions that I'm just waiting for a home for. But yeah, I'm not really thrilled with the fuel system on them either. But I've never been inside one either, so I'm not really sure.
We got 320 in the house. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. If you wouldn't mind, hit that like button. That'd be awesome. Leave your comments in all caps so we can see them. Thanks, Charles. Oh. All right, we're looking for questions, or
I'm looking for questions. You can talk to people.
I can talk to people.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go over the Stihl clone. I know a lot of people commented on that, and some people are diehard, you know, don't want to buy anything Chinese, and I don't either. But some people, I mean, realistically, every saw manufacturer has parts built in China for their saws. Every single one. There are certain actual models that are not built like that. Like I think, you know, if you get a Husqvarna 455 Rancher or something like that, like it's all built in Sweden, or, you know, stuff. There's certain models that you can find that are not, but everything comes from China. So this company, Farmer Tech, that actually makes these Stihl clone saws, they have Stihl Husqvarna saws too. And I haven't seen any of those, but I've just seen these 660s. I have been ordering parts from Farmer Tech for years, for at least 10 years. And I have, in my MSO44, we've got a piston cylinder from them.
No, 44, no.
No?
No, our the 440, no, the 46, the 046 had one.
Okay, so, and we sold that saw.
Yeah, we sold that saw
to a commercial guy that loved it so much. So we've put those piston cylinders and everything. I've bought tons of aftermarket parts from them. I've gotten, you know, clutches for Stihls. They're the, you know, but I don't, it's sort of a hassle to order because you don't get stuff for 3 weeks. But for years, I was able to order stuff from them, and it's actually really good quality stuff. Now I just get OEM stuff, but I gotta say that, you know, the saw, I think for a homeowner especially, is going to hold up. I mean, I'm not, you know, I want to sell Echo. I want, you know, of course Stihls are the best, but I can't really knock that saw whenever I know that these dudes have used it for 6 months hardcore and they're still pretty much going. I mean, even if you're going to spend, that's 3. You can buy 3 of those saws for the same price as you're going to get this Stihl 660, MS660, and
You gotta remember the warranty on a commercial 660 is 90 days. So that's it.
yeah, so it's
If
not
you could,
like,
if you could, Ed, if you could tell us which Stihl it is, we could help you out a little bit better there. Says he has a bushwhackers. It's safe to use a blade for small brush. We're gonna need to know which. Like, yeah, those so far. Those saws are heavy, though. I mean, honestly,
It was heavy.
I'm not going to suggest it to a homeowner who, unless they just want to use it every now and again. Like,
it was heavy.
yeah, it's like 4 or 5 pounds heavier than our 440, and the 440 is not a light saw. So it kind of surprised me how heavy the thing was.
Real life Chinese camshafts are not heat treated in soft garbage. Blow a cam in 5 minutes on a stroker. Yes. Ask us how we know.
Yeah.
Because Briggs did run out of camshafts multiple times last year, and we felt like we were in a bind, and it just got to a point to where we blew through so many that we're like, we're never doing this again. You have to completely tear apart the engine again, and that was terrible. So
I actually went out and went into the junk pile and found a couple of camshafts for customers that had to have them out of old engines so that they could have their mowers back, because we weren't going to get any camshaft for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. But We did try.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, we've used them before, and
That was
it
years
may have
ago,
been
though.
the same vendor, and they worked great. There was nothing wrong with them.
So you have a Stihl bushwhacker. Is it safe to use blade for small brush?
I just told them that
Oh,
we
you
need
did?
to find out which one it is.
Yeah, you can't do anything on a curved
So.
shaft. So, let's see. I don't know. You go through questions, and then
Okay.
so yeah, I would suggest if you need anything, PharmaTech is not bad when it comes to aftermarket parts. There are places that are, and a lot of things that you're going to find on eBay and Amazon are junk. So I can say that PharmaTech has always had good parts. Now I did get a piston and cylinder for a Husqvarna one time that was really odd. It didn't have the impulse port that it needed, and that was sort of weird because it's pressed in there, and I would have never imagined that it wouldn't have that because you can't take the old one out of it. But anyways, other than that, everything's been pretty good. So I'm going to keep everybody updated on those chainsaws to let you know if I do see them come back into the shop.
What kind of damage can be done putting bar oil into the gas tank instead of the gas?
Nothing.
No, you're not going to hurt anything. It's kind of a pain to clean out, but
Surprising how many people do that. I mean,
it's not going to run on it either.
No,
That's what you're wondering. It's not going to work.
It's not going to run. And here's the deal. So if you do pour bar oil in your gas tank, if you pour gas in your bar oil tank, nothing, just pour it out. If you pour bar oil in your gas tank, pour it out, rinse it multiple times with gasoline mix. And if it has a primer, that's the worst part. Is a lot of times people will prime it into their carburetor, and it's much harder to get out when it doesn't have a primer, actually, because if it's got a primer, you can actually keep priming it until it keeps flushing everything through. So just keep flushing it, and it'll smoke a little bit when you start it up, but it'll be fine. Really simple fix. Don't take it to the shop. You can do it all yourself.
Our shop name is Lakeside Small Engine in Hot Springs, Arkansas. I'm not going to blast the phone number out all over the place, but you can get on Google or Facebook and look up Lakeside Small Engine Hot Springs, and we're all over the place. Look up Small Engine Repair in Hot Springs. We're usually the first one that pops up. So.
Also, just a reminder, we do have Chickanic t-shirts, hoodies, and long sleeve shirts at Chickanic.com. Just let y'all know. We make them ourselves. We don't have no big corporate company make them. We actually print them and cut the vinyl and press them and ship them all ourselves. So if you want to get a t-shirt.
Any recommendations for a pre-mix 2-cycle fuel? The Stihl, the Echo, or the Husqvarna?
Yeah. I've had multiple issues with the True Fuel, which people say that it runs fine for years, and then all of a sudden it won't run. I think there's just bad batches at the store, or that it doesn't last sitting on your shelf.
Who gave us those 2 cases at one time? It was an off-brand.
Our Briggs dealer.
Yeah. It wouldn't run in anything.
Anything.
I mean, we couldn't put the thing in a Craftsman or something, and I mean nothing. It wouldn't run. It would. Our 282. It would start our Shindawa trimmer. You could get it to start for a second, but that was it. And so, yeah, be careful with which brand you buy. Buy the ones. I know they're expensive.
And True Fuel might last for a long time. I'm not knocking you getting it or using it, because people will say it lasts for them for 2 years, and then all of a sudden they come into the shop and they're like, yeah, I bought another thing of True Fuel. It's just bad batches. So you can try it again, and that's fine. But I see it a lot with the True Fuel, not with the other brands at all. So, Rick. Has 2-stroke oils gone up in the USA, have jumped up recently in Australia? I am paying $10 to $20 more a case for oil. This my last order. Yes. And I'm like freaking out because I dread going up on prices.
Well, we just paid, what was it, $10, $12 more a case for 10W30.
Mm-hmm.
And that just taught. I mean, I couldn't believe it. When the price of gas went down, 1030 never went down. It stayed exactly the same for 2.5, 3 years. And then the price of oil jumps up a little bit and the price of 1030 goes up like that. That was crazy.
Yeah. So, Tommy Cod, do you work on Exmark Quest Zero turn mowers? Now, do you have options of buying different kinds of engines on those, I believe? So will you tell us what kind of engine you got? But you normally, oil burning issues is not an issue. Like, no.
Well, it depends on which engine it is.
Yeah, but still. Anyways, let's see. Looking. You're welcome, Smitty. Okay, we are 10 minutes behind on questions, so we are getting there. Let's see. Just stop by. What's up, Joe? Thank you for popping in. Y'all, if you would hit that like button, that would be awesome. Is William back? I haven't seen him yet. All right, we're looking for some questions. So we went to go see Jeff Dunham last weekend. That was awesome. He is amazing, amazing comedian. I mean, I'm not even talking about the puppet stuff, but just, he's funny. We're going to Dallas next weekend to watch another comedy show.
Mm-hmm. You gonna click on that question or?
Oh, Mr. Celtic at heart, how you doing? In your humble opinion, what is the best homeowner riding mower for the money? We're going with John Deere.
John Deere?
Yeah, for the money. Definitely, yeah. It is slightly better quality than everything else is made by something else, and the name is not what it is. Like like MTD makes pretty much everything anymore, so you're going to get a Troy-Bilt if you buy the Craftsman's.
Yeah, MTD makes all of Craftsman now. I think AYP may be labeling just a few for them, but I don't know anymore. Husqvarna owns AYP, so everything that comes out of there, no matter what it says, if it says Pouland or Husqvarna or Craftsman or anything else, it's all they own. Hustler now, I believe that Husqvarna owns Hustler now. If not, they're using their spindles. Hustler's using AYP spindles.
Oh, Alfred and the capes. Off subject. I commented on a video. How do I order parts without a model number? You don't. You really need to know what you have. It depends on what you need also. I mean, some things are common and they can, cross over from one machine to the next, but you really, if it's something specific, or holler at me, inbox me, tell me what you've got, send pictures and tell me what you need and we can figure it out. But I mean,
sometimes they're really good about going backwards on these.
Yeah, I can go from like an air filter and I can back into it from, whatever, or some other part on it.
Somebody's saying hi to Stella. Hi, the Lawnmower Lady.
Was that Stella? Stella hanging out with us tonight. If you haven't checked out the Lawnmower Lady's channel, she puts out some amazing content. Go check her channel out. All right. Let's see. You want to go through this?
Sure.
Is Echo Red Armor 2-cycle oil really the best? Yes. To me, I think it is. For the price, it's definitely the best. And if you
all around it,
it's got fuel stabilizer in it, so you don't have to buy any, and it's like the really good fuel stabilizer. So that knocks down, say you get, you might be paying $5 for a 2.5 gallon bottle, but it's already got the fuel stabilizer in it, so you got to knock that down a little bit off the price of what regular oil would be. So it's totally worth it to me. And we put it in everything we own. all of our 2-cycle stuff has it, and we never have an issue unless we let it sit for years. But it's great. It always lasts over winter. So I don't even think Krusty knows. Jake, I don't even think Krusty knows that we're on here. I got to go tell him that, he needs to hop on. Daniel Dominguez, who is your main parts distributor for?
Really don't have a primary parts distributor. We use a bunch of different ones.
Yeah, we do use a bunch. I mean, there's Oscar Wilson, OEI, because it's the area that we're in, I guess. I don't know. Oh, hold on. Go back up to that one.
This one?
CS490 comment, yeah. Blair 191 in the market for a saw. Found an Echo CS490 on eBay for $299. Good or bad saw? It is. Are you buying it brand new for $299 or is it used? Because I wouldn't buy a used saw on eBay, first of all, because that would be scary. So do not buy anything used like that on eBay where you can't actually take the plug out, look inside the piston cylinder, run it. That's a no-go. Brand new, those saws sold for $349. So I mean, if it is brand new, that's a good deal.
And it's a great saw as long as you don't have to start it for the first time.
Yeah, it's fun. We start everything we sell. We start in the back end and break it in for just a second to make sure that everything's good before it goes out the door. And I don't know what it was, but every time we'd break one of those CS490s in, it took forever to get it started the first time. Well, after the first time, it started fine. It
started being easier. Just pull a spark plug and, drip some fuel down in there to get it to, but you could pull the things 30 times and the first time. After that, they started great. I mean, they'll start first cool after that, but it just took forever to get the fuel up there. I couldn't figure it out.
Joshua Baker, have any of you guys ever worked on or had a Stihl MS290 Farm Boss chainsaw?
Many. There's one sitting right behind us outside, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
That was a really, really good saw. It was like $329 when it came out. I don't even know how many cc's of power, but it was awesome. 56 cc's. You could get an 18 or 20-inch bar on that bad boy. Those were like some of the best ever. I wish they would have stuck with that. That quality.
We had one for a while. I got to not like it because I don't like the 325 chain on it. I just think, if you're going to have a 20-inch bar, you really need, a full-size chain on it and the bigger teeth. And so, but you don't really want to rebuild one either. They're not fun pieces of equipment to rebuild. So.
Owen Tal, I got a CS341 topping saw with a missing chain tensioner. Do you by any chance have a part number for that? If you would, send me an inbox message, either an email or through Facebook, and I will look it up and see what the part number is. But right now I'm a little busy. So, all right. Crispy Bacon. I love that name. I'm just here to tell folks not to buy the Toro recycler. They're complete trash. I'm not a fan of the Toro recyclers, really.
I'm not a fan of most of the Toro stuff that I work on.
That personal pace just got me. I was like, why would I, I feel like, no, I need some stability here with my handle. The more you pushed it, the faster it would go, and it totally just...
The only self-propel that I've ever really liked was the old Snapper anyway, where you had a handle, you could pick a speed, 1 through 6. And
so, new chapter.
Last year.
Huh?
Had some pre-mixed fuel in a riding. You couldn't even light for the match.
Yeah, that's how that stuff was that we had.
I've had entire gas tanks of True Fuel that they told me it was True Fuel, but it didn't smell like gas. And I dumped it out, and sure enough, some of it wouldn't ignite. So I don't know what it was.
This is funny. Donald Ross asks, is it true the key fits all John Deere?
No.
Well, what's funny though, Are we talking about ignition keys? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's funny though is there are only, in the majority of riding lawnmowers that we get in, there's only like 4 or 5, maybe.
Keys?
Yeah, 4.
There's a certain amount. Well, John Deere has a key, and then they have keys for the Lowe's brand. So,
but nobody knows that. They think that their key is special, like your house or your car. And so, how many customers I get in that they try to leave their keys with us, and we're like, no, it's okay. And they're like, well, how are you going to start it? And we're like, there's only like 4 different keys that start all lawnmowers. So
yeah,
that's funny.
But no, John Deere has 3 different keys that can fit in a variety. They have, a tractor key fits everything, but most of the, if you look up a Mahindra, tractor key, they're pretty much all the same. It doesn't really matter what it is. Cat keys are the same. They don't put a lot of time. It's not something you can really jump in, and burn the tires off getting away from the place end. So.
Hey, BJ Mason, thanks for coming in. All right.
Bad Boy Mowers, Mitch Farley.
Did I miss it?
Yeah, you missed it again.
Here, do you want it?
Yeah.
Here. Oh, there it is. I was hovering in the wrong spot. We got 406 in the house.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for hanging
Bad
out.
Boys are good mowers.
Hit that like button if you would. That'd be awesome. Then more people can see and join in with us.
I kind of consider them like some of the lower level hustlers, a commercial Husqvarna. They're not an X-Mark. They're not a Skag. They're not, a Grasshopper. They're not a Walker. They're good mowers, though. They're really good mowers for homeowners. And they hit a price point that's right. And they're made here in Arkansas. So what else can I say? They're really good mowers. They are. I think I'd spend, if I was going into business with one, I think I'd spend the extra $2,000 or $3,000 and get an X-Mark Skag, one of the top end hustlers, or a Grasshopper or something like that, though.
Josie, each game I did not have time this year, but last year I picked up 8 Craftsman riders that had bad transmission. Ew. Yeah, what you gonna do with all them? Who has a better hand blower, Stihl or Echo? Thank you.
Echoes start a lot easier.
The Echoes do start a lot easier than the Stihls do.
According to stats, the Echoes are stronger.
I think the Stihls are a little lighter. I will tell you a secret though. There are 2 models of Echo handheld blowers that you that one is one up for the PB 2520, and it is $149.99. The one up from that is the PB 2620 or something like that, and it's $199. I'm telling you, if you get the one for $149, there is another tube that you can put on the end that's actually smushed down, sort of, so it's has more penetrating power, and it's almost as powerful as the one for $200. So that's what I do, and I try to save my customers some money, because I think the actual engines themselves, like the piston cylinder and everything, is exactly the same. So that's the trick. Buy the one for $149 and then get the squish tube on the end. So,
not a question. It was a statement.
You went way back up.
No, I didn't.
Oh. Any Dallas people in here tonight? We're going to Dallas next weekend to watch a comedy show. It's going to be actually Steven Crowder with Dave Landau. Dave Landau. Dave Landau is he's the main show, and he is so funny. So we can't wait to go. But if you have any suggestions on places to eat, because last time we were in Dallas, I really We
Yeah,
went to go-
downtown, it's like a food desert down
It
there.
was sort of really weird. It was like we couldn't.
We were in
Find
Deep
anywhere to
Ellum though, and
eat.
that's weird.
So
So,
we
but
got-
we're going to be
and
downtown again.
The places
so.
we found last time have closed since, I guess, because of COVID and stuff. So if you know of any place good to eat or anything we should go do while we're in Dallas, let us know. What is a good chain for deep cutting a chainsaw?
It depends on what kind of wood you're in. If you're in this wood here down south, then a full chisel tooth is fine. Some of the ash and stuff like that, you kind of want a rounded tooth chain. And sometimes you want a skip tooth chain also for that.
Robert Betts, Red Max 8500 backpack blower. When using Red Max 2-cycle oil, do you see more carbon buildup in the cylinders? I don't ever use Red Max oil or really have any customers because we only had one shop that was selling Red Max in town, and I don't even think they do anymore. But
well, Red Max is owned by Husqvarna now,
so yeah,
so
it's
it's probably
the
the
same
exact
oil.
same oil.
Yep, and
it
I
might
haven't
be a
really
different
seen
color, but I'd suggest that it's probably the same thing.
And I have not seen that many issues with the Husqvarna oil carbon building up because of the oil itself. Just like I haven't with the Echo or the Red Armor. It's really just that Stihl orange silver bottle stuff, which is really made for the 4-mix, and it will clog up everything really quick. Now, all oil is going to clog up everything eventually if you run it at half throttle, like trimmers and stuff that you don't really want to, run full force around flower beds and windows and stuff. So when you get done running your 2-cycle equipment, no matter what it is, just keep it up in the air, run it full throttle for 30 seconds to a minute, burn all that carbon off, and you should be good to go. You just need to get hot enough to where it's going to do that.
Well, Paul, I'm going back and looking for your question. We must have missed it because I did not see it in there.
I don't know. I didn't see a Paul question.
And I still don't see it.
And we're back to like 20 minutes ago, so scoot back down.
So if you want to, you go ahead and ask it again.
Again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I am sorry, y'all. We're not going to get everybody's question now. We're just not. It just there it was.
Oh, where'd you see it? Oh,
no, yeah.
Oh, wait. Majestic Tree 423 Echo 2511T is my wife's best friend. 12-inch bar. She loves it. Isn't it awesome? It is like so nice to run that. And then the I mean the 270 was those are just
271.
The 271. They're just so they're like a toy, but they are so powerful. I love
that
to
is
run.
a really neat little chainsaw.
It is.
2511 is.
Yeah.
If y'all get a chance to run one of those, it really is. It's a very powerful 25cc saw, so it works great.
All right. David Holly, do you have a source of buying rebuilt transaxles such as for a mid-90s simplicity with a no?
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Nope. I don't know anybody. Alfred McCabe's. Yeah, he uses mower keys for forklifts. Yeah, it's funny. They go on everything. We talked about this saw earlier, Earl. Stihl 029 was one of the best saws, I think. I mean, they were awesome. I still see a bunch of them today that were sold 20 years ago. So, okay. Paul, we found a question. What can I to get a secondary clutch to work on my Pug? We're not
UTV.
We're not utility vehicle people. Is that it?
Yeah. Sorry, I've never worked on one of those.
We just do lawn and garden outdoor power equipment.
And I'm uncertain as to why the clutch isn't working. So, yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry, that's not a pote. Oh, all right. Looking for a 7 horsepower Tecumseh for an Aaron snowblower. You can actually get if you want a replacement engine. If you're going to get a Tecumseh, it's going to have to be used because they don't make Tecumsehs anymore. But if you want a replacement engine, you can probably get a Briggs and Stratton to replace it with. So you just have to have your numbers, and they have replacement engines. So
some of them, you have to remember that they're different. Some of those horizontal shaft engines, you can't get to adapt to the older pieces of equipment.
He's a negative Nancy.
Okay. I am, so. But we just had somebody come in and wanting us to weld another end onto the shaft of one of those Predator engines so that it would go on his tiller. And sometimes you cannot find them that will work.
No, I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about Briggs will have an exact, crankshaft. Everything will be fine. Either it's that way or you can't get it at all. But no, Briggs usually will have a replacement.
Well, not like those old pony.
We're not talking Predator.
Like those old, you can't get a replacement Briggs for like those old that will fit on those old pony tillers, those old MTD pony tillers. They don't make one that will cross over anymore. So there are some out there that you can't get an engine for.
I sell the parts. Okay, Donald Ross. I just watched your video on idle adjustment screws a long time ago. The small cutoff wheel on a Dremel worked just fine. Just saying. Okay, you're talking about, how to get those little caps out. You are correct. There are ways to do it. And that would probably work. Oh, here you go. Ken Curtis says he can rebuild transaxles. So whoever was asking, there's Ken. Get a hold of Ken right there. All right. Joe, some repaired rest boneyard. Yeah. I mean, if you can make one out of two, you're doing good. But I can only imagine if you had all of those that needed transmission work, that would sort of suck. Okay. Stihl 86 hand blower can't be beat. It is good. Yeah. I mean, can't complain with the 86. It's powerful. All right. Crowder and Landau are the best. Yes, we can't wait. It's going to be a heck of a show for sure. Oh, Tom Butler, what you doing? How you come to Conroe, Texas and have some good brisket? I've never even heard of Conroe. Where is that? And let's see here. You look for questions. So let me just go through the wrap again. If you have not subscribed, you will have to be a subscriber for 5 minutes before you can comment, or you can't because that's how we keep the spammers out. If you would, please give a like. Also, go to check out Chickanic.com where we have Chickanic shirts, t-shirts, and long sleeve shirts and hoodies. That's my little spiel while Ron looks for
The Londoner is a good British pub in Dallas.
Really? Try the Scotch eggs.
That's a new thing.
Ron, I love eggs of all kinds. It doesn't matter what it is. Poached, deviled, hard, soft. How many times eggs are there?
Fried, scrambled.
Now, Ron, who was even a breakfast chef at our cafe that we owned years ago, hates eggs. But I love some eggs. Oh. Metal Shop with Troy. Hi, I have an MS250 Stihl cutting a ficus tree 1 meter in diagram. What's the best chain? I mean, I don't know how. I'm not a tree guy, so
1 meter in diameter with an MS250.
Wait a minute.
I mean, that's an over 3 foot diameter tree with a MS250 that can only carry an 18-inch bar.
Oh,
If you're cutting that up, you're going to want full chisel tooth.
yeah.
So I don't know exactly how you're going to do it with that saw and that bar, but yeah, anything that big, you're going to want full chisel on it. You're going to want it to grab really hard.
George Woodson, Husqvarna 125B. Where can I buy authentic Zama carb? I get them from my distributor to make sure that they're actual OEM. I actually had somebody contacting me this week saying that they got one from a shop thinking it was OEM and it wasn't. Now, they will actually, it'll say on it Zama and have the, C1 whatever, or so make sure you get an OEM carb because the aftermarkets are terrible. If you get it online, usually they have to be pretty true about saying if it's OEM or not. So I don't know. It's sort of hard. I have them, but let's see. Tuesdays, country stalls under heavy load.
That's because it's a Tecumseh.
If it's a Tecumseh, that means it's over 20 years old, probably.
15. I think it was
15?
15 years ago that they stopped production of the
Okay.
engines. So
Yeah.
it was a few years before we got the shop.
Every time we see a Tecumseh issue, it's carburation. They just have.
Some of those bigger engines, though, yeah, they develop ring problems in them, and when they get under a load, they'll start feeding their compression back into the crankcase, and it will load up on you. And
Hey, Greasy Shop Rag, thanks for coming back in. All right.
397 here. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Spoke too soon. 394.
What's Pat saying here? Pat Sound Guy. The Aaron's blower can have different crank sizes and the pulleys won't fit. So you can just order the Briggs with a right size crank, or you can swap the crank and get get an adapter. Yeah. Berkeley. Let's see.
You can take it over there.
I know. Best chain, a sharp one. Yeah. Watch out for the next video. I actually had a chainsaw returned. The first time I've ever had a chainsaw returned, an Echo CS590. I'm going to let you know why it came back to the shop in the next video and why it wasn't the saw's fault. So we're going to go over that. Your Angry Mac 3%. Your opinion, the best 50cc pro saw. Also, I think it would be interesting if you could do recommendations for a person starting a landscaping business, such as trimmers, edgers, blowers, mowers, etc. The Echo actually came out with the CS4910, and it's awesome. It has a rim sprocket like the professional saws do. It's got it does have 325 pitch chain on there, but that's not really an issue with this saw. It's just so powerful, but it's so light. I mean, it's awesome.
Pretty much any 50cc saw is any modern 50cc saw is going to have 325 on it.
It's got a decompression valve for easy starting. I don't need it, but it's sweet. Check out the CS4910. I always tell people read reviews first before you buy anything. All the Echo stuff has stellar reviews, and also a homeowner gets a 5-year warranty for any manufacturer defect and a lifetime warranty on the coil. There's my spiel.
And landscaping business startups, it's going to be hard to beat Echo to start up anyway. Right now, they have about the best blowers. There are edgers.
Blowers in 2 cycles.
Yeah, blower in 2 cycles. Mowers, as far as, I mean, a lot of the big brands are just what they are. But if you're starting out and you don't have that kind of budget, even though I just, I didn't really baptize, so a Bad Boy or a Spartan, as far as the zero turn, because they're less expensive. They're good mowers. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just, I haven't seen them last like I have the other major brands.
Johnny Richards asks, what's your thoughts about the plastic carburetor on the push mowers now? I have been having people bring them to fix them. I'm guessing you're talking about the like 4 or 5 horsepower. They don't call it horsepower anymore, but the ones with the black plastic with the white jet insert. I made a video on those. They're super easy to clean, but they're going, most homeowners, it's just a moneymaker because homeowners are going to.
But Briggs has been making plastic carburetors for those little engines for a very, very long time. I mean,
yeah,
the ones that had the carburetor mounted on the gas tank, those little. They're plastic. Those carburetors, like the tanks are metal, but the carburetors are plastic.
We don't really. I mean, you're not going to have any issues with that carburetor. If somebody ran it once a month, they wouldn't have no issues at all. But they don't. Or if you get trash in your gas or something like that, it's going to get stuck in that little jet. But they're super easy to fix. So it takes like 15 minutes, and you're ready to go again. So just keep on fixing them for everybody. All right.
We're up to Tecumseh only makes air compressors.
Yeah.
Air conditioner compressors. The air conditioner compressor on our 68 Cougar is a Tecumseh.
Thank you, her. We need more thumbs up. Everybody, if you would please leave a thumbs up, that would be awesome. Thank you all so much. Yeah, real life. I run nothing but full chisel and sheets like a beaver on steroids doing all. That's funny. Oh, Robert Betts. Are you noticing a shortage of getting the CS7310P? Yes.
We've gotten one.
We got one. And we sold that one. And so I think I showed it in the video that it's out of stock. So
our sales guy promised me that he was going to bring me a demo model, though, so that we can make y'all a video.
Yeah.
With the 7310. But now, the way they're saying that they're so rare, we make one and y'all are going to be like, well, I can't buy one anyway.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Yes. But hopefully we'll get to see one. I've gotten to start one and I haven't gotten to run one yet.
Oh, sorry, Thomas. I'm definitely letting the world know that you switched it out for Tecumseh. So. Highlighted comment. Oh. Oz Mowers Australia, thank you so much for coming back in. All right, I said it earlier, but I want to thank everybody. We hit 55,500 subscribers. That's crazy. But thank you so much. Oh. Guns and knives. I have a Poulan BP 400 Pro backpack blower with a Kawasaki.
Well, yeah, I mean, Husqvarna uses Kawasaki for those ones you rebuilt, don't they?
Yeah.
So they look like Kawasaki's. So
that's cool.
I mean, Poulan, they've been owned by.
I haven't seen one, but yeah, I know the Husqvarna does too. So that's cool. Those are good engines. Don't ever have to buy a carburetor because that thing's like $150. Just saying. So, all right. Dell, you're the comedian tonight. Most equipment failures are the loose nut behind the handle. Oh, you're funny.
That's a flaw of those Stihl. What are the 86, the handheld blowers? The ones where the engine bolts back out.
Yeah.
On the but they do it even on their the 400s and the 350s. Every now and again they'll back out and hit the flywheel.
All right.
What was that last one that Juan brought in? Was Juan? No, it was Jose who brought in the was that it? Yeah, it was a 291, and the engine screws had backed out and hit the flywheel on that one too. That's just one of Stihl's quirks.
Hey Wally, I just caught up to the most recent comments, so ask your question again and we'll see it. Put it in caps so I can make sure to see it. Okay, babe. I'm not ignoring you. I did just see it. Okay. Oh, live chat did break 400 for a moment. Thank y'all. Yeah, it did. That's awesome. We have fun doing this. So let's see. Funky Sawman, right? New subscriber here. Never in my days have I heard a woman. Small engine tech. Cool though. Keep it up. You should check out the Lawnmower Lady. She's in the comments. Go check her channel out. Stella is amazing also.
Looking for Wally's. What happens, y'all, is the service that we use, StreamYard, so that if we want to jump somebody on, they can. It's just a lot easier to use. Is the chat will suddenly jump, and you'll have 25 or 30 different chats that will move up, and it just skips us down quite a bit. There's nothing we can do about it other than go back, and that's a very difficult thing to do, to go back to look at it and find out. So what else is going on? What else did we do?
We just had a 4-day weekend.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we didn't go to work Friday either. We couldn't get out of our neighborhood. We lived back in the woods, and it was a solid sheet of ice. And
should I tell them what I did?
No.
My blonde moment. Oh, the car, I'm telling you, because things happen and I can make fun of myself, but the car froze and there was a huge sheet of ice over the entire car, and I was like, cool, we ain't going to work Thursday. Friday morning, went out there and there was still ice all over the car, and I went to try the door. It would not open. Later on, I was like, well, the ice is coming off just a little bit. It should be opening. Still didn't open because I left my coffee creamer in the car. So from when we left work 2 days before this, Ron went out there and he checked the doors, see if it had, unfrozen enough to open them to get my coffee creamer out. Saturday morning, I had locked the doors. So no wonder they wouldn't open. I feel like a dumb egg.
I can't even remember. I didn't look to see who gave us Wally when he have a bagger attachment for a pole saw, badger attachment for a pole saw, and an edger. Both of them are badger attachments. What kind of weed eater can I attach to them? Oh, badger.
Who makes badger?
I'm not sure who makes badger. I'm going to say I'm betting that it's.
Is that like? That didn't come up. Landscaping tools, Wild Badger Power. We literally have never heard of the brand Badger.
I don't know the brand.
So I don't know if that's an area thing but I'm sorry, we don't know what Badger is or who makes it. Everything's made by the same people, but all right, Michael Mumford. Hello. On small two-strokes, why does the exhaust side of the piston seem to get up and down grooves more than the intake side, causing compression loss?
Well, what happens is it gets hot, and it's not going to get nearly as hot on the other side where it's sucking in cold air and fuel as it is on the exhaust side where it's pushing out really hot air and spent fuel. So that's the first place it does it. It can, if you're getting marks on the other side, on the intake side, that's because the air filter isn't working, you're ingesting things, or there's a physical problem with the piston and the cylinder. But that's why it does it, because that's where all the heat is. As it builds up heat, the underside where the crank is pulling cold air and fuel into it. The intake side is much cooler because that's where it's coming in, and the top side and the exhaust side is where it's actually blowing fire out. So that's where it gets hot first.
All right. How do I make that go? That didn't work. Okay, so if Stella, if you would like to hop on with us, there is the link. Also, Mower Detective, if you want to get in, John Clem, if you want to hang out. We didn't set up here. What? How do I hide the comment? We didn't set up the which side are you? That's you. So all we have is this. So we're going to see if this actually works. If anybody wants to pop in, if you don't, if I just caught you off guard, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. But we're going to see if it works. So
this is the raw. Are these your earpods?
Yeah.
Well, they're hooked up to your computer.
Oh.
You need my earpods hooked up to my computer. But we have this. If somebody's going to jump on.
If y'all jump on, yeah. We do have a way to hear tonight. So on that side. All right. John's finding his headphones.
There's Stella.
Hey, what is that? Okay. We had to figure out how to add you. Do you
I
not
think
hear?
you just click on her.
Yeah. We're
Well, I don't know how
we're
to
like
do it.
monkeys learning how to use tools for the first time. Hold on. All right, we're gonna add Stella.
Hey, how are y'all doing tonight?
We gotta turn this up.
Yeah, the first time trying to get people on StreamYard is difficult, and then the ears thing, and then you wind up with, all this screaming and feedback in the background. So hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah, we're turning ours up.
There you go. There you go.
Turn it up more.
Turn it up more. Crank it up.
There you go.
All right. I can hear a little bit. Yeah, well, these headphones.
I can hear fine out of this side.
I got bad headphones. I got the bad side.
You got the one bad set of headphones. There you go.
Oh, and there's John. Let's pop John up here. I don't know how to do. Okay, hold on. How do you do that cool thing where I can make everybody not?
On the very bottom of your stream, you might have to scroll down on StreamYard. There's a little thing where you can look at different setups. There'll be like, you in one picture, and I think it's the one that has the 4 little guys on there.
Okay. Well, none of them have 4 little guys still.
There's probably a different one.
Two.
We'll just there you go.
There we are.
That's it. That's
awesome. So everybody, this is Stella. She's got the Lawnmower Lady channel. If you have not found it yet, she has amazing content. On the bottom here, we have Mr. John Clem. I mean, he's got that sort of sexual healing voice.
Lord, very white.
Very white. He's one of our favorite people of all time.
Oh goodness.
He's up there, Stella.
This is Guy Noir.
Uh-huh.
He'll be 18 in April, and he just loves to be in my face all the time.
Yeah.
Because clearly there's no one else in the room, so I must be talking to him, right? Makes sense.
I'm gonna go get your headphones. Do you know where they are?
I believe they're in my computer bag.
Okay.
All right, she left me in charge.
There you go, man.
Lucky you.
So what's going on?
Well, I'm very appreciative of you bringing me up on your stream, and the question and answer stuff you guys do is pretty awesome, because a lot of times, and I would like to try to do some more streaming. Sometimes it's hard for me to do because I really don't have good internet out in my shop where I do work, and I prefer to do streaming out there. But no, and believe me, getting on streams, you've heard me say this before. You sort of feel like you're at the pub with a lot of friends and chit-chatting and whatnot. But, there's a lot of legitimate questions that a lot of people want answered. So I really like your format where you guys are like really trying to stick to the questions and keep it on topic. Me, I'm terrible at keeping things on topic.
Well, we don't know what we're doing.
Right. Yeah. That's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with not knowing that.
Okay, we're gonna switch headphones out real quick.
Now we're wireless.
Yeah.
How have y'all been doing? How did Winter Storm, whatever it was?
No, this one skipped me, and I'm pretty sure it skipped John, except John's kind of cold down there. We had like one day of like 50-degree weather, and we're now back down to the 30s and 40s and whatnot. We had a couple of inches of snow last weekend, but it's all right.
We got Mr. Celtic at Heart down here.
Last week.
How are you doing?
Good evening.
Doing good.
Good evening.
Heart down here.
You gotta turn off the YouTube.
Yeah, you gotta turn the sound off on the YouTube.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
go to the stream.
You can mute him.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There you go.
You got it?
Yep.
All right. All right.
So James Hurd here says, "Hey guys, I have a Cub Cadet commercial tank M48 that does not want to start when it's really cold outside. It only starts when it's hot."
We're still turning our sound up.
Okay.
I
got us back.
Now we're going to get back to answering some questions here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see James Hurd's question?
It only starts. No, I didn't.
He says, "Hey, I have a Cub Cadet commercial."
All right, here we go.
That does not want to start when it's really cold outside. It only starts when it's hot. That's it. You got it.
It's not telling me what kind of engine it is. So
encourage it's garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's commercial, one of the big Cub commercials is probably going to have a twin cylinder on it. I don't know which engine it is, so there shouldn't be anything, I mean, a lot of those have trouble starting when it's really cold outside.
A lot of
but sometimes, especially the ones that won't start at all when it's cold, there's a problem with the choke linkage. It isn't closing the choke butterfly all the way, so it's not drawing gas in, and it has to be able to draw, quite a bit of gas in when it's cold to get it to go. So
Keith Hansen asks, why do Echo post hole diggers make so much clutch noise? I have never sold one or seen one come in for repair, so I can't really tell you. I haven't, if anybody had one, I don't know what issues that they had.
The only ones I've ever worked on don't have a clutch on them, so I don't know. I've only seen the ones that are like basically direct. Because I had one recently that was a 2-stroker. It was a really cheap thing. It was terrible.
We're fixing to have to dig some post holes. We're building a fence. We might make a little short video on it. Oh.
She'll never edit it out by cussing. I told her after we built the fence around the pool, I told her I'm never building the fence again.
Lawnmower detector. That sounds interesting. Not the handwriting. Oh, you're not writing nothing up. You're doing a handwriting analyst now. That's cool.
Somebody's done messed up.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Aaron, I don't know. Did we see Aaron's comment before? Aaron, the wood chopper Massey. Normally, I ran a lot of older power saws like Husqvarna's, Promax, Poulan, Stihls, etc. It's why I asked, what about the bar size for the CS400? The 400, I mean, you're really only going to want to go up to an 18-inch bar on that bed. Right. So let's see. Am I missing any more? What?
It's a Kawasaki V-twin 23 horsepower.
Okay. That's the cold.
Let me see.
That is
out of my league.
Those carburetors, well, some of it. It depends on which series it is. It's good. I mean, because they have they can have carburetor issues, especially when it's cold. Because some of them are vented out the top, and they'll have a hose that comes out of a 90 out of the top, and is actually a vent. And if those vents get clogged up, if any moisture gets in them and it freezes inside there, then they won't start because they have to be able to vent to choke. If not, check, though, those are really bad about the choke linkage becoming loose and it not being able to close the choke all the way. So that's the first thing that I'd check. And make sure that your engine's spinning fast enough.
So,
go ahead.
So Stella, who'd you get for the swap video?
Oh, well, you know, it's kind of weird because I wasn't supposed to tell. And then,
are we not?
Well, yeah. And then Conker started blabbing about it. And then Mick came on and started blabbing about it.
Oh, I didn't know it was a secret. Well, I haven't told anybody. But
with the email, I think the email said don't tell anybody, and he listed the whole list of everybody in my email. And then Ken was asking this morning who it was, and I was like, huh, okay, well, then I'll just say that that my match goes to a lot of diners. So I'll be having fun with that. But you see, I think it's good because you'll be able to put on a lot of chaps.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to look and you'll be able to look the part for your matchup. So
yeah, no, I can't wait to do my matchup because I've got it all planned out. I mean,
well, I'm working on two different things and I can't quite decide. I just might do both of them. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So
yeah.
Mine involves, you know, eating food.
Mine involves a lot of Milwaukee. Okay,
that's right. Or a lot of their videos, because I've been enjoying watching a lot of their stuff where they're out there like testing. You know, they had the teeny tiny little Husqvarna, whatever it was, the 140 or whatever it was, and then they had the monster, you know, big giant, you know, 40-inch blade or whatever that crazy thing was. So yeah. You should get Ron to help you in your video. Oops, sorry. Help you with you guys can both, you know, he can either play Ryan or what's the other guy's name? Josh, is that right? So
sure. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Celtic at heart, where are you at in the world?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Yeah.
Way up north.
That's way too far north for us.
Cold, too cold.
I bet he can tell you all about snowblowers.
That I can.
Yeah.
Oh, donuts and coffee. Alfred McCapes asked, do you have a number for an Intech 6.5 float needle and seat? Well, the good thing about most of those is they were all the same, but I don't have the part number. Does anybody know that, Stella, you know, just off the top?
No, not off the top of my head. I have to look all that stuff up.
I'll see if I can find it.
Thought that you would have memorized that by now.
There's no need to. It's just right behind me.
It's
398188. Is it 398188? I think that's what it is.
Or is it 799177?
No, that's the new needle with the
So we got a 797410.
Hello,
they changed their number. Steelman Chainsaw from North Carolina. There's your neighbor.
I know, he's my neighbor somewhere.
Chris's Small Engines asked, is there problems with getting parts? Yeah, we went over this a little bit earlier. We do see issues with getting some of the miscellaneous Husqvarna parts, and we're seeing lots of unit issues. I'm just sort of scared of what we're going to see this year because I already got 2 letters from 2 of my major distributors, one of them being Briggs and Stratton, and them saying, watch out because we're going to have shortages this year. So that's not good. That's not what you want to hear in February.
No.
especially after they had the entire season to catch back up.
You would have thought.
But we've been, running around town, and I have not seen a single lawn tractor yet.
No.
Out at Lowe's, I'm sorry, I've seen one. They had one at Walmart, but Tractor Supply, Sutherland's, there's nothing out at all. So I don't know if they're holding them in the back until next month or what they're doing, but they had nothing.
Yeah.
So we might be going into another very, very busy season, because when there isn't anything to buy, they bring us the stuff that's been sitting out there in the next to the pond for the last 5 years.
Under the shed.
They don't mind paying that much money to get it fixed. So.
No. What's going to be bad is when we get that one dude that left all his stuff last year wanting to come back and pick it up.
Yeah.
We had this one guy, and he was about it. He wanted to put $600 into this really old rear engine snapper rider lawnmower and a walk behind MTD trimmer, and we fixed them, and he still hasn't come pick them up. So I don't know if I'm just going to go ahead and sell them bad boys or not.
I don't think we can get $600 out of that snapper. I don't think there's any way we can. It's horrible looking, ugly.
Yeah.
Depends on how bad they need a mower.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's the truth.
That's currently what I'm doing, is fixing them up so that if they run out of stock, I can sell them off.
Yeah. We've got about, how many? 5 riding lawnmowers ready to go for the spring almost?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, well, we haven't finished the deck on that Cup Cadet yet because I got to do some fabricating. But
It's the rubber seat, Pat. Oh, Bruce, what causes an engine to pulse under load when it's brand new?
if it's brand new and you haven't tried anything else, try different fuel first.
Yeah.
Because when they surge like that, but some of these new carburetors, most of these new carburetors, as a matter of fact, are coming out of China. And
I know.
I mean, we just, sometimes just Briggs even when we needed the solenoids last year, they were sending us whole carburetors. And they're just Chinese carburetors, and some of them work and some of them don't. So sometimes you can actually diagnose something there's a problem with, but it's brand new and it's surging like that, I'd take it back to where it came from. And
Absolutely.
At least have them put a new carburetor on it.
Well, if you bought it from a big box store, all they're going to do is just swap him out a new machine anyway. So it depends on if you bought it from a dealer. You're going to get a lot better service from a dealer than you are from a big box store.
Yeah, you are. At least they'll try to figure it out.
Yes. Yes.
But honestly, still a lot of the times now they're just throwing us new stuff. They're like, here, give them this one. See if this one works.
Right.
And I don't like that. Why are you, if it's that cheap, to build the things that they can just throw them at you. Then,
And and they're not going to pay you for warranty work. I did warranty work in my previous life, and there's only set prices for stuff, and you can either you often can't make any money doing warranty work for them. They'll send you the parts and whatnot, but they're only going to send you X amount of money for labor. But if you spend more of your time, energy, and trouble trying to figure out that it was this bad part, you're out that labor. So it's not a good deal.
Yeah, Briggs is pretty much a stickler on their what they're going to pay you, but
Right.
Echo has been really good. Like, you can even write into the comments that you had an extra difficult time getting these bolts out or getting this flywheel out, and they'll make it right. So that's pretty
Arch
cool.
has a good take on it too. Yeah, it depends by the state too, because they make different jets for different areas, and if you have
that's true. Absolutely.
If you have a high altitude jet and you're in a low altitude area, then it's going to surge because up in the high altitude they need more air.
Right, because it's going to be too rich at a higher altitude. So
so thanks, Archie's Garage.
Try running it without the air filter. Pull off the air filter and see if it works better.
Yep. Celtic, do you have a shop, or you work at a shop, or you just do it for hobby?
Just as a hobby.
Yeah.
I was wondering, do you all have any recommendations for these folks that are doing the shade tree thing, kind of like I am, as far as looking up parts and stuff on the internet? Do you have a source that you'd like to use?
I got a parts tree for everything and anything else that I can't find.
What's
like
that other one?
John Deere has their site's really good.
Was it proparts.com?
I find that
theirs was easy.
There's so many different parts houses out there, and I used to get a lot of parts from Jack's Small Engines, and apparently they got bought out by Northern Tool.
Yeah.
Really?
This was apparently about a year and a half or so ago. I didn't even realize that. And I think a lot of it depends on what your time frame is. I'm a glorified shade tree mechanic. That's what I do. And I buy the part wherever I can get it the quickest. So I'll go to 2 or 3 different places. If they have it in stock, I'll call them up and say, do you really have this in stock? Because some of these online suppliers don't have real-time online inventory updates, which is what the problem was with Jack's. And they say, well, just call us and we'll be glad to tell you, but you're on the phone for 30 minutes trying to get to a sales rep that can tell you what their inventory is. And so, I don't have, if you're running a legitimate shop, you've got the parts guy who can look these things up online or whatnot. And I'm sure that's one of you two guys, Bree and Ron, one of you guys is going to be doomed to be, on the phone looking up parts. But if you're doing it yourself, Mr. Celtic, you're just doomed to try to move as quickly as you can. At least I am. And I'll just buy it with whoever's got the best thing on parts. Yeah, Jackson.
So, their parts diagrams and stuff are pretty amazing, actually.
Absolutely, and they have great parts. And it's kind of interesting though, but it depends on who the manufacturer is. I've been trying for ages to find out to get a crankshaft to replace on a Honda, and I finally, after about almost 9 months, finally wound up with some distributor in Virginia Beach who actually was able to help me walk through the entire process, because the best I could come up with was it was one of these 6 different crankshafts, and I'm like, I don't know what but no, I mean, it's you if you know the part that you need, just start Googling the part number, and that'll point you right away to who has it and who can get it to you the quickest.
Yeah.
I'll put this up here. It's not a question, but it's just a statement that they are disposable, but the truth is about plastic carburetors is they don't corrode.
Right.
And ethanol is very corrosive to these metals. And if it sits in and starts to separate, and also the detergents that they use, so even if you're not using ethanol fuel, the detergents that they use are basic, and that makes them very corrosive to these metals. And if you get water in it, the detergents will adhere to the water in it, and that's when you get that weird yellow and orange gel.
Right, the
in
jello.
your carburetors. Yeah, I mean that is the detergents inside the fuel, and they'll rot a carburetor. And plastic carburetors are very hardy for them. You might have to replace their jets, but I mean, we've run into a lot of plastic carburetors. And especially these new ones, those little ones,
or the O-rings.
Yeah, or the O-rings, exactly. Yeah, especially on the old Tecumseh, the O-rings were. usually about 90% of the problem. But the plastic, that is the one true advantage of those plastic carburetors is they do not corrode. You leave them out in the sun, they'll fall apart, but they're not going to corrode.
Well, I mentioned something about those plastic O-rings and Tecumseh carburetors, and Bruce mentioned the other day on some stream I was on. He says, "Oh, he doesn't even put the O-rings back in; it works just fine." I was like, "Oh, well, that's news."
They're the bane of my existence in those plastic-based carburetors.
Yep.
Man, I mean, the ones that have the solenoid on them, for the riders.
Right.
I can't remember. They have 3 or 4 of those little tiny O-rings through that port before it gets to the actual jet. And I have spent so much time thinking that I have all of them to find out there was one more down in there that was all squished. And as soon as the fuel got in, I just do not like those.
Jordan leaves a comment. I think it was Jungle Bob Repair who did a video a while ago about parts to exact same part, but searched by engine and then mower model came up on a different prices. That is exactly true. If you do look some of this stuff up, you can find that it is priced different on even parts tree, different under a different brand, and it will be a different price. So you will want to look into that if you're doing it, because he ain't lying.
What do you got to say, John?
Alfred.
Pardon?
What do you have to say? You haven't been saying much.
I'm just listening to y'all talk. I'm here for entertainment purposes only.
So I missed out on the whole, zucchini thing. Okay.
Don't start that again.
It's over. Okay.
It is over.
All right.
That was a bad rumor that was started by our good friend Mick the Mower Man.
Oh, Bruce is in
Hey,
here.
Bree.
Yes.
My daughter Amber's watching. She'll me tell you, hey.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
She's here somewhere.
Yeah. Bruce, we're all up in here. Am I allowed to have more people on here?
Come on, Bruce.
To come in?
I think we can have 6.
Oh, yeah? We'll put the link
you guys can
again.
have 6.
I don't know how to put
You
the
just
link.
copy the link up here and put it in the thing. So.
This one?
Spoons.
We're learning.
Well, hey, y'all, I got to take off, but I just wanted to say hello, and I want to tell you how much everybody appreciates what you guys do on YouTube here for us all. So,
well, nice to meet you.
Thank you so
much. Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Glad you came up.
Same here. Good to meet you. You take care.
Have a good night, guys.
Right.
You
Thanks,
too.
Ben.
Bree, she just said hello and gave you a hearty.
Oh, hello. Thank you.
She's a
Is she
big
the one that you got
she's
the-
sound guy.
Yes, she's a big Chickanic fan.
Awesome. What's up, Pat?
Hey, hello from Nova Scotia.
You totally look like a sound guy.
You do look like a sound guy.
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
I just have the snow blowers too and all that kind of crap. So
Uh-huh. Yeah. So we as the band Hookerette have not been playing in a very long time because I've been doing this. But Ron, he has his new gig. He's got
my new super rock band.
Tramp Stamp.
No way. I love the name.
These are my buddies that when I was a kid, I grew up playing with them, and we went out and gigged, all the way through our 20s. And of course, life gets in the way and everything happens. And I just wanted, to go jam with them, a few more times before we're all gone, or we start falling off one by one. So, but also I have so much equipment that if I don't justify some of it, then Bree is going to start selling it. So
No.
what did we count the other day? 17 guitars. I have 17, including the basses. So I mean, don't.
He's got a pedal limit. I make him stay at a pedal limit.
Is there any such thing as a pedal limit?
There's
a monetary.
There's a monetary pedal limit when it comes to that, because I'm like, You can only spend this much on pedals a month, okay?
She says $70, so I think that encumbers the entire fulcrum of 70. You know, from 70 to $79.99, and then I don't
That's
add
a lot.
tax. So. That's $9.99.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know. When do you reach that perfect sound? You know, it's like
doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
It's never there.
Yeah. So you got a lot of snow up there in Nova Scotia, right?
Yeah, last week we got about 12 inches.
Yeah.
For our last storm, and then here Friday afternoon we got crazy ice storm. So we just got our power back this morning. So at 1 o'clock Friday afternoon, I just managed to finish the live stream for work at the university, and bang, the power went out, and we just got it back this morning. So everything is covered in like half an inch of ice on every tree and everything. I was out there's chainsawing up a bunch of branches that fell down.
Oh wait, we got people down here. Oh,
there's Bruce.
There's Bruce.
Sorry, we don't know how to do this.
Yeah, sorry, Bruce, we didn't see you.
So Pat, the sound guy, are you really a sound guy like in entertainment industry, or are you? Tell me what you do. I'm sort of from that world, so I'm curious.
Well, I do. If it blows smoke in a tailpipe or passes electricity, I probably work with it. So I am, I've been an audio guy by trade since I was about 15 years old. I'm 44 now. So
gotcha.
I spent the last so many years, almost last 20 years out on the road with one particular band for the most part, doing thousands of shows and big festivals and that kind of thing. And I repaired instruments for years. I repaired and restored saxophones and flutes for a long time.
I probably worked on some of those shows that you were on, and our paths never crossed. So that's okay. I was usually an electrician or a forklift driver, so that was me.
Oh yeah. And now what I do is I have the smallest business on the side, and then I work at the university here too. There's a couple of universities here in the city in Halifax, so I work at one of them. In the AV department, working with technology, supporting people doing all kinds of, technology-based things like live streaming. I do a lot of live streaming at the university.
Well, that's cool. That's way cool. Hey, Bruce.
What's up, Bruce? How you doing in East Tennessee? What's your name, or you want us to go by East?
My name's Mikey. First time on the live stream with you guys.
Hey, Mikey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all.
You too.
Bruce, you're looking sort of tan. You're not in Mexico yet, are you?
Oh, we're still here. Four weeks that I'm. Oh no, sorry.
Oh,
I don't think Mikey doesn't know that I've been in Mexico for 4 weeks, and I've got 8.5 weeks left.
Oh yeah, that's why you're so tan. Yeah.
You're looking good, Bruce. You're looking good.
Thank you.
Am I allowed in here because I got a Stihl hat on?
Dale, you take care. Appreciate you.
I gotta check on you, Stella. Did you say I didn't use O-rings on a Tecumseh and they still are?
Didn't you tell me that don't bother with the O-rings? They'll work just fine anyway. Or did I remember that from somebody else?
I think I might have said that I buy the O-rings separately.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Oh, okay.
But I buy the fat ones, not the skinny, scrawny ones you get from Yin Yang. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I always put them back in anyway. I'm not one to not put stuff in that's supposed to be there. So I will. I retract my statement.
Well, the primer bulb would never work without pressure in the bowl.
Right, and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, okay. Yeah, no, the ones I get when I pull them out when they're like square, squared rings, they're not good.
Or rounded or twisted or pinched.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm a carb guy.
I know. Doug Ackerman, yes, sir, Mr. Doug. Older equipment was always built better.
I think a lot of it has to do with the true manufacturing of it. The metals were better.
Yeah.
Yes.
They made the stuff thicker. They made it heavier. They made it stronger.
I think you're right. I think if we had some of this new stuff that wasn't made from the pot metals swept off the floor at the end of the day, I think we'd have some stuff to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pressed crankcase sweepings.
Remember back when they used to sleeve lawnmower engines? They didn't have aluminum cylinder walls, and But more than that, you can take one of the new Briggs engines, and even same basic horsepower, 6.75 or 7.25, and you can hold them up and hold a Quantum in the other hand, and the Quantum probably weighs 8 to 10 pounds more, and they're very light. They're very thin, so it just is what it is. But yes,
but
equipment was better.
The average owner now, when they quit, they just take them to the landfill, push them off the back of their SUV, and they go buy another one.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, Boons. Chickanic.
So Bruce, what do you want to say, John?
Yep.
Oh, I was going to say one of your new subscribers and followers, Terry, wanted to say hey to you, Terry Wiley.
Well, hi, Terry. How are you, buddy?
Hello, Terry.
I've been.
Go ahead.
Well, because I've been down here in Mexico and I'm not putting out mechanical stuff, my subscribers are sucking slew water. And I'm just approaching 40K, and I want to make 40K.
Yes. If y'all haven't checked out Bruce's channel yet, go find it.
Yeah, well,
I wanted to tell you
that'll get me 2. That'll get 2. That's good.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll link it up for you.
Well, Bruce, I was watching your channel like 10 years ago. That's
right. Now 9 years and 4 months.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Zippo Verga.
I'm gonna check out all you guys today. I'm gonna check out all you guys today, though.
Yeah, Zippo Verga got me going.
Yeah, too.
I really love your channel, Chickanic. I really love your channel. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Am I allowed in here because I have a Stihl hat on?
We have tons of Stihl equipment. It's funny because people think I'm dogging on Stihl all the time.
I like Tecumseh and Mick.
And I say
I like
good things
Tecumseh
about
and
it,
Mick. Sorry.
Yeah, our 440 is sitting right next to us.
we love Stihl.
Yeah.
I mean,
they make good stuff.
Those 440s and the 460s are like before they're like the apex of chainsaws.
Chinese.
There really wasn't ever another one better than those.
Right. You guys were talking about non-ethanol gas earlier, right? Yeah. The only non-ethanol gas I get is a 90 octane, and then I run that gray bottle of the synthetic Stihl brand oil.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people mess up. If you don't read the back of it, you're going to mess up because it says recommendedly 89 octane or above.
Now, our Echo distributor, Top Equipment down in Texas, they've told me several times you can't buy ethanol-free gas in Texas.
Some places you cannot.
Yeah, you can buy ethanol-free gas in Alberta.
You can buy it here. Mm-hmm. But in Texas, you can't, and there's many places like that where it's impossible to get it. Which,
dang,
I don't even know why.
Do you guys have ethanol-free gas in Nova Scotia?
Yeah, most of the high test stuff is all ethanol-free, and
I can buy 87 octane ethanol-free.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, eh?
Well, a lot of the gas comes from up there, so.
And not yours, because I think yours comes from the Irving refractory off the coast there, which comes.
Yeah, it does. Comes in by the ships usually.
Yeah, it's too bad. We need a pipeline to you guys.
Yep. It's pretty nice, though.
So I assume everyone on here knows about pure-gas.org. Does everyone know about that?
No.
Now I don't.
It is a website. It's called pure-gas.org, and it's a crowdsourced site that lists all the stations nationwide, and they just started adding it in Canada as well that sell ethanol-free fuel. So it's and I find that it's usually pretty well up to date because it is crowdsourced.
I think I have seen that. Yes, I have.
Yes, it's called Pure.
Hey guys, I'll be right back.
Gas.org.
Alrighty.
And yes,
I went on there
awesome
last fall.
website.
I went on there last fall to see if the co-op was on there. That's where I buy my fuel, and it was.
Yeah, and if it changes, you can make changes. That anybody can make changes, because one of the places where I go to, I buy it at a couple of different places. One place has like everything on the mid-grade pump is ethanol free. Other stations will have this one singular pump, way on the other side. That's the only ethanol-free one. So
you got to watch the age.
Yes. Yeah.
When I was a kid, my first career, I was an industrial electrician. And I did a lot of work down at the Exxon plant in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which at the time was the 4th largest industrial plant and the 4th largest refinery in the world.
Really?
And and they did all kinds of work down there, but they had to teach us a lot of what was going on. And that's what I figured out. The gas that they fraction out won't even work in a car or anything like that.
Right.
The gas that they fraction out, their first run of it is only like 70 to 72 octane.
Really?
I mean, it detonated way before it ever got under compression. And they use naphtha, which is, it's further up the line. They use naphtha to add the higher octane ratings to it so that it won't detonate in a car. And then, of course, they used to use, lead.
See you, John. Good night.
Who's
Spoon's got to sleep.
I was like, y'all telling me to leave or what?
No, John.
I could go.
No. He's got to get some sleep before he lets those kids cut their fingers off on the saw.
Yeah, for real. John, take care. Have a good night.
But Bruce, where are you at in Mexico?
I'm just 20 miles north of Puerto Vallarta. We don't have anything to do.
Way down south.
No, well, yeah, it's halfway down, but we don't. We used to go to Cancun and play El Carmen quite a bit, but we feel much more at home on the west side because we're on the west side in Canada, and that we just feel at home here. It's like flying into home.
Oh, nice.
It is.
We feel that way about Cozumel.
We don't feel that way about Cozumel, but yeah, it's just a cultural thing, right?
Yeah, we just booked our trip again for this Thanksgiving.
Oh, congrats.
We can't wait.
Last year we didn't come, and the year before we came and then got called home and actually went home on a rescue flight, if you want to call it that. We drank rum and ate sandwiches on the way home. So it wasn't that bad.
We got a question here if y'all want to answer. It's Briggs 625 series Troy-Bilt chipper shredder vac, no compression, oil and breather cavity. What could it be?
Broken ring.
Well, on those they really, I would check the flywheel keys, flipped. Is that an old one? That 625? Is that an old flat?
That's the old quantum. That's the old flathead.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, man. On those ones, the damn timing gears went before the flywheel keys did.
Yeah,
some of that plastic ones, didn't they?
Yeah. I don't know. Just keep tinkering, taking stuff apart until you find it.
I don't see a lot of quantums that break like that.
No.
I've had a few.
I see a lot of that. Well, I don't see a lot of them, but if they sit for a long time, the exhaust valve won't close all the way.
Right. That's easy to solve.
Spring gets stuck, And
you can even fix them without pulling the head gasket off. You can fiddle with them.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get a screwdriver down in there to go ahead and close the valve and slowly pull it and work it out, and it will eventually
fill the cylinder full of schmoo and let it sit overnight. All kinds of fun.
Diesel fuel. That's what I use. So I use on the big engines to free them up as diesel fuel.
I'm not good with numbers. Like when somebody says a 625, that might even be the new Briggs with the valves. I'm not good with numbers like that.
I'm the same
I just fix whatever comes in. Order the part number and go.
Hey, Doug, put it in all caps and she'll see it. They'll answer it for you.
George Tucker asked, my brother has my father's home light saw that was purchased in the 60s. It has not been started in 40 years. What do I need to do besides put gas in it and see if it'll start?
Take the muffler off.
Put gas in it and see if it'll start.
Take the muffler off. Take the muffler off. Have a look at the cylinder to make sure there's no goo and schmoo. Don't turn it over. Don't do anything like that. Start with that and rotate it lightly without putting anything burnable down the cylinder. Take the spark plug out and go slow.
Yeah.
How did I do, Bree? How did I do?
Put a bunch of mixed fuel down into the spark plug hole and slowly pull it. We had a 028 about 4 years ago that someone gave us. They threw it away. And I was going to, because, I mean, it didn't matter. We had a 028 cylinder and jug, or just cylinder, not cylinder. We had pistons and rings in the back. And I took the thing and we filled it up with gas and we let it sit for a long time and took it out. About 3 days later, we went to start it. We didn't put fuel in it. We just went to start it. And so I dumped everything out, pulled it a few times. The thing fired up, put a little bit more gas in it, the thing fired up. It ran for about 3.5 minutes and the ring seized on the piston. I mean, they just collapsed down into the piston. They wouldn't expand anymore. So, stuff that's been sitting that long, it can have problems.
I'm working on right now before I left home, and it's part of my March videos because I'm still here, but I got March videos. I'm doing a Homelight XP 1020 100cc with no compression release.
That's
Whoa.
a monster.
Ooh.
That's an arm breaker.
That's a beast.
If anybody wants to watch an old guy yank a 100cc saw with no compression release, that's coming up in March.
Put a snowblower pull handle on it, Bruce.
I did.
There you go.
I did. It's big. It's like this big. And I can put my hand on it.
That's definitely where you do the drop pull, right? Like,
no, I had to actually put this one on the ground and stick my boot on it and pull it.
oh, hold it. That's yeah.
But I got it. I got it running now. It's all apart, waiting for paint when I get home, and I'm going to paint it up and redo it. So I had it running, going around and around, zing, zing, throttle, everything. So
that's a beast.
Yeah,
it is.
I'm looking forward to, you know what, I'm going to put about a 32-inch bar on it and just bring it out when I have a barbecue.
Need a real West Coast bar for that.
Look at this thing. You know, the long bar, you know.
Yeah, we call them a West Coast bar because over here in Nova Scotia, we don't see those kind of big trees. You need those big bars for.
Right. Well, neither do I in Alberta. That's why I was happy to get it. You know, Alberta is just poplar and spruce, right? But big spruce.
Yeah, I got an 020 Stihl that my buddy brought to me last year that he let me have, and I was probably at least 45 years old, a little older than me, and it's the whole saw is just metal. It's a top handle, little tiny thing.
Yeah.
And the tank, I didn't have a chance to make a real video too much on it. I did a bit of it, but I rebuilt the carb and everything. But I had to take the carburetor. The tank was so full of the old fuel, it was like bubble gum.
Yeah.
I had to soak it with acetone for like 2 days to get it.
Right.
That's soaked. And I put a new meter diaphragm in the thing, and I've been using it all summer long. Man, what a great saw.
On this one, the one tank was so bad that somebody tried to flux core the aluminum and blew a hole through it. But I got another one, a C70, which is the same parts. And I've got a tank and a set of points from the other one. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to build one saw to two. I was going to try and get them both running, but there's just no.
We got another question.
66.
Doug Ackerman, he says Kawasaki engine on my Ferris mower runs on either, not on gas. 2 new carburetors. If it's not running on gas, it's not getting any gas, or it's getting too much gas. It's one of the two. So if it will start on carb cleaner or starting fluid, then it's just one of the two things. It either isn't getting enough gas to start, or it's not getting gas, or it's getting way too much gas and it's flooding out. So
how big an engine is that?
He doesn't say.
And I'm not familiar with that, but there
might be a
shutoff.
have
a little vacuum fuel pump or a clogged fuel filter or whatever. It's just not getting.
What about what they call the backflow preventer if it's a tractor? I don't know what size engine that is.
I don't know.
Yeah, some of those got those little those solenoids on them, and they don't like to.
That's right.
They like to get stuck.
Fuel
shut off. If you can get that running with a good solid spray of 50 to 1 chainsaw gas and keep sprinkling it into the carburetor and it'll run, then he'll know he's got definite fuel issues.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Sherry. Absolutely.
Yeah, Sherry. I would do it every time you fill
every
it up.
time you change a chain.
Yeah.
Every time you think about it.
Yeah. You want it to wear evenly on both sides.
Keeps you giving that divot right in front of the sprocket, the nose sprocket.
Yeah, it's funny because some people will flip them over whenever they bring their saw in to be sharpened, and they think it's wrong. And I'm like, it's okay that the name is upside down.
The nome's upside down, right?
Yeah.
Well, this has been fun. I'm going to back away. We had company tonight from back in Canada.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
It's their first night in the first.
Were they lost?
No, it's their first. You know how it is when you've been flying and traveling all day long, and you get off the plane and you're just burned out and you don't feel like going to. So we had them in for lasagna.
I am on the cruise ships.
Yeah, and we had them in for lasagna and Caesar salad and beers, and they're just upstairs now. So that's pretty cool. And I was in kindergarten with this man. That's how long ago we've been friends.
That's awesome.
Yes, I have friends.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh, good to see you, Bruce.
Good to see you.
Work on that tan tomorrow.
Oh, well, I don't even have to
jealous.
try now.
Look at how white and pasty I am.
That's right.
You know, it's like a welder's flash.
He got that tan in like 3 days.
Uh-huh.
No. Metal detecting on the beach will fry your ass.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys.
Bye, Bruce.
See you later.
Hey, Pat.
Hey, Pat, do you have a channel?
Yeah, Pat the sound guy.
Easy
Pat
enough.
the sound guy. There you go.
That's it. I'm thinking about changing it up a little bit for the naming and stuff and doing something. I'm not really sure because I haven't had time to make too many videos lately, but I'm kind of trying to see if I'm going to steer it more towards a small engine thing or, trying to keep it more switched up with a bunch of different stuff. I'm not really sure yet, but I'm closing in. What have I got now for subscribers? I think I'm closing in 905.
What?
Sweet.
Oh, you're almost
Good
there.
job.
Everybody, go over
exactly.
and subscribe to Pat. Once he gets 1,000 and 4,000 watch hours, that's what we need to get him at.
We're pretty close. Just look here.
Throw your link out there. They'll need it.
We can do that.
I just tried to find it.
I've got it right here in front of me, just about. Of course, it's playing automatically.
So, Pat, how much easier is your life now that all the digital equipment has caught up with the times?
Well, it's I was one of the first early adopters of the wireless control long before anybody else was doing it.
Yeah.
I was doing it we're talking 2007, 2008. Wireless control. For me, I was doing that long before anybody else had even thought of it. And I used to do shows with a few thousand people in a tent, and I'd show up with my pocket PC in my hand, and a laptop, and hook it up to the mixer, and do remote desktop to run the mixer from the pocket PC.
Yeah.
So now I use the Behringer stuff. I have an X32 rack, I have an XR12, all that kind of stuff, and it is a game changer because you don't need to have a snake anymore. So I throw everything right on stage, and you don't need a snake. No. Nothing. I just throw the rack on stage, and I got direct plugs and everything, and go.
How many channels of information can you transfer at that point?
Well, it's all just back to the main unit. That's the mixer itself. So whatever the mixer's got. So my X32 rack is 16 in, 8 out, another 6 in and out if you need them. Or if you add the extra snake head to it, it'll do 32 in, 16 out. You just throw it right on stage. So only doing remote control through the Wi-Fi, and that's
right. And
about 3 years ago, I bought a katana, and it's absolutely changed my life.
Yep, you can plug that sucker right in and program it.
Yeah, I mean, it weighs 25 pounds. It's a speaker. We've used our other guitar player has a katana too, and they're 50 watts, and we've used them in outdoor gigs.
Yep, I got a buddy who does that.
Incredibly loud, and you can program all your pedals into them. They have 4 channels available to you, and I think the 100 watt have 8 channels available. Yeah, it changed my life completely.
I'm a big fan of those things when they show up because they sound so fantastic.
Yeah.
Smaller is better.
In my world, I was more into the lighting end of things. So, of course, lighting control, they started doing wireless control to to make it much easier, especially for a lot of these Broadway touring shows to come in, so they don't have to run these big honking giant sound snakes up to front of house positions. They can just put a wireless controller to control lights or effects or whatever there. So no,
I'm using a nice DMX wireless box at the university right now, and it works fantastic.
Who makes that? City Theatrical? Because they really pushed a lot of the bubble there for those guys for a long time.
It was like one of the regular manufacturers, like the prosumer kind of thing, like the not American DJ, but what the other company is that makes
Chabot is one.
Yeah,
they do a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Wi-Fi or something they call it, and it works fantastic. Like a lot of the American DJ lights have the antennas with it built right in. So we flew a truss and put 4 lights on it, 4 movers on it, and you just talk to the thing with anywhere in the room. Done.
Yep. I used to install systems like that, and I would have trouble. We'd have to go in sometime and have to very strategically place Wi-Fi access points, because there's so much Wi-Fi in all these theaters that you go into that there's sometimes some congestion on some channels of Wi-Fi. So it's
2.4 gigahertz. There's a lot of
2.4, and it gets to a point where you almost have to have an IT guy there on the show staff to be able to sort all that mess out. So
I ran into that one time on a gig. It took me 15 minutes to get the Wi-Fi to connect.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's crazy. Only runs
30 minutes and then stops and running again. Well, that means it wants to take a break.
It wants to take a break.
Yeah.
Union break. There you go.
You take a break and you go back.
It's like a bad ignition coil, maybe. I don't know.
30 minutes is a long time for a chainsaw. I mean, it should get hot.
The chips in those coils now too can take a long time.
I don't know. 30 minutes seems
down.
like a lot.
So 30 minutes seems.
Yeah, you're right.
Minutes might actually be 18.
I mean, the longest I've ever gone is like 17 minutes.
Yeah.
Before it stopped because of a coil.
If it won't restart when you put it back down, check and find out if it still has fire after it quits running. So.
Venting, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I
think it would only be a couple minutes if it was venting like that, I would think.
Yeah, I don't know. 30 minutes is a long time.
Sometimes that kind of stuff, I wonder how lean it might be or how much rich it is. Sometimes it's getting really rich or something, it might want to cut out, but it would take less than 30 minutes for that to show up, I would think.
Usually would. So it's sort of hard when you say 30 minutes because, I mean, that's a long time.
I like
normally things mess up quickly.
Fire, and then the other thing too is it getting really hot enough, and is it getting kind of soft season at that point? Yeah,
right now you just have to go through diagnosing. You'd have to check your cylinder and piston. You have to check your plug when it dies, see if it's wet, see if it's white, is it dry, does it not get any gas? Yeah, I mean you need to go through all the diagnostics, see what issue it might be. It's just a real odd one. I wouldn't think it's fire because it does take so long, but it could be. Who knows? I've seen more bizarre stuff than that. So
have you ridden a lot of heavy wood with one of those kind of saws and it's running a little bit lean? I wonder if it's just kind of that piston's kind of getting a little expanded. It might, sometimes they bog out a little bit and they cool them off. The piston shrinks a little bit and it'll go again.
Yeah.
Depends how it stopped too, right?
We've said this lots of times. If something's leaking, use a better bar oil. A lot of times that will help. A better brand has a better viscosity that will actually, not let it leak through so much. Also, release your cap when you get done using it. Take some of that heat maybe off of it because the bar oil does heat up since it's sitting right next to your muffler.
If it's not going to leak out of the cap or the gas is going to leak out, set it on its side so that it can't physically get there.
I tell people just be happy it oils it all. No,
yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, and don't use W30 in it.
Yeah, you can put brand new parts in these things and they'll still do the exact same thing. It's just a condition of the manufacturing and the build quality. It's what it is, but it doesn't seem to really have an in particular brand or anything that it seems to happen across the board. So the oil starts flowing and it just keeps on going through there. But if you set it on, that's what I do with my 440 most of the time, is I'll set it on the side, and because it won't leak when it's sitting on its side, and then it doesn't leak all over the floor. So because it doesn't have a case, so that's what I do. I'm not going to try to fix it. It's like I don't even know how old that saw is. So, but
I use them on their side too. I actually have a tray I bought that was a neat little rig. It's 4 chainsaws, so you don't have the oil everywhere. It's like a chainsaw shaped tray, and it's got a little strap. A bungee cord goes over top of it. It was like $5, and it's like your saw. And I should have bought some of them. The Princess Auto here in the States is like your Harbor Freight is, right? So they have all kinds of one-time deals. And I walked in, it's a neat little tray thing, and I should have bought like one for every saw I got, because it's like the coolest thing ever. You want to throw in the back of the truck, it's got this tray stuck to the back of the bottom, and it's awesome. You don't have to worry about any oil or nothing.
Well, y'all, I got to get out. I mean, we got work in the morning.
We got to wake up.
And we got to take the kids to school.
Yeah. No, just take tomorrow off. You're the boss.
We already took 4 days off.
We already took.
They're going to be mad we took Friday off.
Well, make it an even 5. Whatever.
We should have been there. Thankfully, though, a lot of trees didn't break and stuff like that from the ice weighing down on them. So hopefully we won't get bombarded too bad. But I am fully stocked with chains. So if we do, that's okay.
Well, there's what my front yard. That's my street out front of the house.
Oh my gosh!
Ouch!
That's a lot of stuff.
There was trees that were there that the company came and took away to clear the road, because they were halfway across the road. Everything that was a birch was all bent over into the road.
Path, you got some more subs now.
Oh, sweet. Appreciate it. We're getting there.
Bo Duke, I hate to say it, the thing you did wrong was you let somebody borrow that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say.
Oh, yeah.
Ran straight gas to the mixed.
Yeah. What's the big joke we say about chainsaws? They're like your wife. You don't lend them out.
I hadn't heard that, but that's good.
That's a really difficult one, too, because we don't know how to use
John?
Make sure we check the compression.
Just kidding.
You put in a jug.
Yeah. So why it isn't starting? Well, I don't know. I really don't.
You're gonna have to check some stuff. Did you get aftermarket carburetor? A lot of times they're hit and miss. Really, you got to find out: are you getting any fuel? Are you not getting any fuel? Are your fuel lines on correctly? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things to check.
Yeah.
Start from the tank and work your way back.
Yeah.
I mean, have you actually put gas down into the cylinder to make sure? So
that'd be where I'd start.
Yeah.
Get a little 2-stroke mix in that throat of that carburetor and see if it fires up. And then if you can get it to draw a little bit, we'll get it to run a little bit. Maybe you can kind of get adjusted. Especially those aftermarket carburetors too. I find that those little levers, metering levers on the inside the carburetor, they tend to be out of adjustment all the time.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us tonight.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me up here.
Yeah.
This has been a real pleasure.
Thank y'all for coming by.
We love you, Stella.
Thank you
for having me up here, even though I didn't do
a
lot.
Great.
John, you always do a lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all very much.
Yes. Thank you, darling.
And everybody have an absolutely wonderful week. We'll be in Dallas this weekend.
Yeah.
Seeing a show, and I'm already scouting out all of the guitar centers to find out what their used gear is sitting in there. So
clean up.
He's going to have a bad Saturday.
All right, we're heading out.
Pat, it was good meeting you.
Yeah, good meeting you too,
Pat. Thank you. I enjoyed having. Good to see you up here.
Yep, exactly.
We'll have to do it again.
Yeah. I hope they
didn't
kill it. They didn't do it.
Let me
yeah, I hope.